Hello guys, this is Alexi with Rock and Roll Tennis Camps, and today I want to give you 3 major tips to look for on your volleys. So lately I've been working a lot on the volleys with quite a few of my clients, and through doing that I kind of distilled volleys to 3 major components. So if you do all those 3, you guarantee to have a very controlled and very reliable volleys. So alright, so let's just dive into it. So component number 1, there will be continental grip with the wrist locked all the way up. So you're making a 90-degree angle right here. That would be your ready position. So here's the ready position, and this wrist will not change for the rest of the volley. So here's where, if it goes to the backhand, you're just gonna turn it around to the side. If it goes to the forehand, same wrist, turn it over here. So definitely do not wanna create more grips. One for the forehand and a different one for the backhand. So if you do that, you can say bye-bye to a very high level volleys. You're just not gonna have time. The ball is gonna come, if it comes super fast, there is just no time for you to switch grips, so you will get cut. So the whole reason behind continental grip is it's interchangeable between shots, but it's also interchangeable on all the heights inside those shots. So there's tons of positives for the continental grip. The only negative is it sucks to learn. It takes some time, especially on the forehands, and you just have to be stubborn enough to stay with it until that forehand feels good. Your backhand will feel good right out of the gates, but your forehand is gonna take some work. So just be more stubborn with it, and it will get better. And once it gets to a good level, you're gonna be light years better on your volleys. So that's the first thing. So wrist would be number 1. Number 2 is kind of my new things. I've been focusing a lot, and I'll explain the theory, but it's not really nothing really new. You know, everybody sort of knows that that's the case, but a lot of times it's overlooked, and I've been paying a lot more attention to this. Is this elbow needs to stay tucked in. So it is still in front, so you don't want to be catching it too close to the body. So it's still in front, but this elbow is tucked in. So what that does is it makes your ability to create a straight line a lot easier. So here's how I'll do it in front of the camera. So if the camera was my target, my goal is basically create a little mini wall with the strings and direct it. See, I'm making a straight line, so whatever that straight line goes, so it goes here, I want it to go this way, I want it to go the other way, but it allows me to have that little bit of a follow through very comfortably, and then I can just direct that follow through in wherever target I choose. So elbow tucked in, and the one thing to note, it starts with that bent elbow and it ends with it. So what you don't want to have is bent elbow in the beginning, and then you extend it in like this. So elbow is locked in, and the wrist is locked in. So fun experiment I did the other day with some of my 4 or 5 students who love to use the wrist. How probably some of you do the same, but I did a little bit math with them. So wrist can move in a few different ways. So here's your first range. That's 90 degrees, which means there's 90 different possibilities for the racket to meet the ball. Right? So it's 90 degrees. Multiply by here's another 90 right here. You can move like this. So 90 multiplied by 90. Those are your probabilities of hitting a clean shot, and absolutely worst, which pretty much all people do up until whatever, like really high level, from 3 and on to 4, just epidemic of using flicking the wrist all the way. So that's 180, as you can see. So it's 90 multiplied by 90 multiplied by 180 is going to be your chances of catching the ball just right. So that number came out to about 1.5 million probabilities. So now that pretty much describes why your volleys are not controlled and you cannot make two of the same, because your angle is constantly changing. So wrist is by far the worst one, so which is why we will lock it in right from the get-go. So that's your number one. So we gotta eliminate all those probabilities, because when the ball comes to you, we need to make 1 out of 1, not 1 out of 1.5 million. That is a terrible roulette table. I would not want to play those odds. All right, so elbow is also, because elbow I didn't even take in my calculations, I didn't even take into consideration the elbow can move in the same ways. So you see between the elbows and the wrists, those probabilities go way above 1.5 million. So, and that's not including the shoulder either. All right, so wrist is locked in, elbow is locked in and bent, so you can create a straight line. Okay, so those are the arms. So the other thing I wanted to mention, so you want to catch it kind of like what I describe is it's more tucked in. So you don't want to reach for the ball and catch it that far in front. So for baseline, we kind of like to keep it pretty far out, but for volleys, you want to keep more tucked in, because your follow through will go to about it's maybe 1.5 to 2 feet maybe. So you want to have a contact time, and then you have to have a little bit carry time, right? So that's your follow through. So you catch it on the strings, and it goes there, right? And it goes towards the target. So if you catch it too far in front, guess what happens? You already catch it at the end of your follow through. So it'll be like this. So you catch it like this, the racket has nowhere to go. You just out of the follow through. So the only way it can go is sideways, but what if you want to go inside out? So you won't be able to do it. So you got to give yourself some of that follow through, which leads me to the last point, and that is footwork. So you want to do what I call a punctuated step. So you don't step then volley, so it's not going to be 1, 2. What you want to have is 1. So think of it as you have two engines to create power here. You have the arm is doing its own compact thing, and then legs, that's your second engine. So you have a 1 engine, 2 engine. If your wrist is locked, your elbow is locked, it becomes very repeatable. It's like a moving wall. So hope this makes sense. You do those 3, I guarantee you'll clean up the vast majority of your volley mistakes. So please let me know in the comments if you want any, if you want me to make any videos for you guys with your technical questions. And with that being said, go rock the courts.